What would adding Cai Bates to the 2024 Florida State recruiting class mean? I'm about to tell you.
You are Locked On Seminoles, your daily podcast on the Florida State Seminoles, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to a special edition of Locked On Seminoles. Just going to preview and hopefully discuss a future Seminole for Florida State fans. Cai Bates, cornerback, Orlando Edgewater. I have seen this young man play several times, know him well. Great football prospect. He was in Tallahassee for the Miami game, had a good visit. I'm actually going to go see him play Friday night as Edgewater hosts Orlando Jones, one of the rivals in the playoffs. Edgewater is 11-0, so it should be a really good football game. But why is Cai Bates so coveted? He was an LSU commitment, which kind of speaks to his talent. Offers from Alabama and Florida State, Florida, numerous programs. Why is he so coveted? Well, how many DBs have all of the following traits? Number one, the length. This is a guy that's a condor, 6'1 plus, and he's filled out. As a friend of mine told me when I sent a video, that is a grown, you-know-what man. He is a big kid. And quite honestly, you can't just teach natural bulk on a corner. Most kids that are his height playing corner, whether Florida, California, Texas, wherever, they don't have his kind of natural physique. He's going to be able to handle the physicality of the college game rather quickly. So if Florida State adds him, that's a really big deal. Number two is position flexibility. This is a kid that can play corner, absolutely. But if you wanted to play him at safety or nickel or both, that's certainly on the table. Florida State was very happy to get him back on campus, and he decommitted after the visit. I think that's a pretty good safe bet that Florida State's in the mix here to a point where you'd probably, looking at it logically, say they're the leader. Now, here's the other part of this that's great for Florida State fans. Every position group that you get, you want to have as good as you can. Obviously, right? Well, name one that's better than this, because all these kids are 4- and 5-star kind of prospects for the Noles already. These are the kids I'm getting ready to mention are already in the fold. If you're a Noles recruiting fan, you probably know these kids. KJ Bolden, Charles Wester, Jamari Howard, who's the most recent DB commitment, CJ Hurd out of Atlanta, very underrated, really good football player, and then Ricky Knight out of the Palm Beach area. All these kids can play different roles, and they're all listed at 6 foot or above. Even if one of them's 5'11", whatever. Florida State's not only getting talent, they're getting length, and Cai would just add to that. He would be the most physically ready, in my opinion, to play because of his versatility to go with his frame, but all these kids have the ability to come in and help the Noles as well. It would be the number one DB group in the country probably right now without me breaking it down, but you add Cai to it, it's a lock. This would be huge for them. So that brings up the last point here. Which teams do you think will end up competing with Florida State? And it's going to be a long list. I'm sure Alabama and Georgia will at least sniff around because they always do with anything that goes on with the decommitment. That being stated, watch out for Auburn, watch out for Florida or Miami. Those are all schools that are fairly local. And also look out for schools that are quite honestly just struggling in the passing game in general because they need help and they could offer him early playing time. I wouldn't be surprised if North Carolina, Tennessee, different teams come after him. It just depends. But teams that are good but like need another player to get over the top, those kind of teams. I wouldn't be surprised. Now, he's probably going to take visits, and I wouldn't be surprised if this went to signing day. I won't know those details till I see him on Friday night. But again, this is a very, very talented young man. And as an additional note, he's a really good dude, too. He could handle the academics, the social life, and basically any environment. Florida State would be a better place if he went to school there. So anyway, Cai Bates, if he ends up with the Noles, look for them to have the number one DB class, and it would further solidify Mike Norvell and his staff's ability to have a top 5 class in 2024.